Following is an exclusive sports presentation of the Big 920, thebig920.com, and the iHeartRadio app. WOKY, Milwaukee. All right, race fans, it's time for 90 minutes of nothing but motorsports. Welcome to the Racing Roundup Show, your destination for comprehensive coverage of the Wisconsin racing scene and the world of motorsports. Now, in its 36th season, the Racing Roundup Show is America's longest-running weekly motorsports radio program, held in front of a live audience. You still have time to join the racing crowd for tonight's live broadcast. And now, here's the host of the Racing Roundup Show, Jim Trado.
Hey, gang, welcome to another show in our kitchen. It's May 12th, and it's, you know what? It's nice outside. Maybe we'll hit the garage next week. We'll see. That's to be determined. What we know is the next 90 minutes is nothing but motorsports here on the Racing Roundup Show. We want you to sit back, relax, perhaps even pull up a chair at the kitchen table and join us. Or in your shop television, you can watch our Facebook Live feed or on our website feed at racingroundup.net. Thanks to Matt Rapina, Coldwell Banker Home Sale Realty. We want you to support our sponsors, including Bonafide Security Solutions and other key supporters. They allow us to bring you this show. We're thankful and happy to have on Mike Egan and his son Nick Egan tonight with Bonafide. You learn about their business and what the dynamic father-son duo has in store for their season this year, and perhaps find some security tips as well, as Bonafide can secure all the things you value. We also have on the promoter at Slinger Super Speedway, Todd Thielen. Dean Strom's co-hosting with us, so we'll have Todd on our first segment talking about that and how Dean will be busy in the infield at Slinger Super Speedway. We're also going to chat with Dirt Modified racer and champion Chris Carlson. We've lined up Racing Wisconsin standout Rich Bickle as well after 7 o'clock tonight. He's got some info I don't think you've ever heard before. Maybe you read his book, Barnyard to the Brickyard, the Rich Bickle story. We'll talk to Rich Bickle tonight as well. This Thursday night at 5 p.m., tune into IMSA's YouTube channel for the live virtual IMSA iRacing event. This week, they head to the Elkhart Lake Road America compound, America's National Park of Speed. So they're racing Road America this Thursday on the virtual IMSA iRacing on their YouTube channel. Please continue to support the sponsors of this show, including Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment, Oak Creek Automotive, Allied Resource Recovery, and Central Services Company. They are among the supporters of our show. They are all open and welcome your business. We also ask that you keep Kevin Berge with Berge's Pub and Prime and his family in your thoughts and prayers. We're thinking about you guys at this difficult time as Kevin continues to be hospitalized after a motorcycle accident. We will continue thinking about Berge, and we'll carry on the show here in a moment. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned for more of the Racing Roundup Show. Thanks for listening in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and in Madison on 1070 The Game. We'll be right back.
Add beauty and value to your home or commercial property with professional landscaping from Central Services Company, Incorporated. The team of professionals at Central Services is the personal choice of over 30 years of satisfied customers in Southeast Wisconsin with landscape design, construction, and grounds maintenance. Call Central Services at 262-548-0005 for all your landscaping and lawn care needs. No job is too large or too small. From lawn fertilization and weed control to award-winning landscape construction, Central Services is your full-service landscape company. Call the experts of Central Services at 262-548-0005 for a free, no-obligation consultation at your home or business regarding your landscaping or lawn care needs. Find out why Central Services can provide you with a visual difference in the art of landscaping and lawn care. Call 262-548-0005 or toll free at 1-800-236-LAWN. Central Services, the visual difference in landscaping.
It's back! The NASCAR Xfinity Series Henry 180 makes its return to Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin's Road America, August 6th through the 8th. The weekend will feature incredible wheel-to-wheel action along with the SCCA Pro Trans Am Series and the return of the incredible Stadium Super Trucks that fly 20 feet off the ground. It's a green flag of family fun and activities. Call 1-800-365-RACE or print your tickets at home. Visit roadamerica.com. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Road America, your national park of speed.
Get your whole family involved in affordable, competitive kart racing at Wolf Paving Raceway, home of the Badger Kart Club in Dousman. Most Sundays from April through September, Club Championship Points Racers and National Touring Series will race on the challenging paved road course. 4 bank turns have been added and provide new challenges to Wolf Paving Raceway, already one of the finest kart racing tracks in the country. Kart racing offers competition for racers of all ages, from 5 to 80. There are 15 classes and over 100 entries a week. Race where Ellen Kowicki, Danica Patrick, and Josh Palicki got their start. Spectator admission is always free. Walk the pits, talk to the racers, and check out the action from the grandstands. There's a play area for the kids and great food at the concession stand, too. Bring the whole family and check out kart racing for yourself. Wolf Paving Raceway is just south of I-94, 35 miles west of Milwaukee, and 45 miles east of Madison. Take the Highway 67 Dowsville-Oconomowoc exit Head south to Highway 18, then west to Grambling Road. For all the latest information and race schedule, visit BadgerKartClub.com. Hey, we're back on the Racing Roundup Show. Dean Strom's our co-host this evening, and it's time for the NASCAR report brought to you by Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup, a proud Wisconsin business, a third-generation Wisconsin business that know when you have Anderson's, everything's going to taste better. Try it in your coffee or tea, or even when you're grilling your favorite foods. Follow Anderson's race team all year long at Anderson'sMapleSyrupRacing.com. Big news, their NASCAR teams, Dean, are going racing at Darlington this Sunday with 2 Wisconsin drivers. Matt Kenseth back in the 42, and Josh Bilicki announced today he'll be sponsored by Gravely Mowers, a sponsor that's Aaron's company out of Brillion, Wisconsin. Gravely is the commercial line of mowers. They're racing Tommy Baldwin's car at Darlington. Of the 40 cars entered, we'll have 2 guys from Wisconsin. And, Dean, I know you followed Matt's career. It's going to be cool to see Matt back in the Cup car at Darlington this Sunday.
So look at that entry list, Jim. I mean, there was a lot of interesting things on that entry list. Not only do you have that huge storyline that you mentioned that, yes, we're going back racing, which it doesn't get much bigger than that, right? But then you have Matt Kenseth in the 42 for the first time. And Ryan Newman returns behind the wheel of the number 6 machine for his first race since that wreck in Daytona. So there's a lot of underlying storylines. Of course, you mentioned Josh Bilicki. I think Bravely was on the side of that car when they raced at, was it Road America?
Yeah, I think it was. And also the King had it on his car one race, because I know in Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment, they've got a big old picture of that car hanging on the wall in the service area. So, yeah, Gravely Mowers. You can get them at Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment in Muskego, a great sponsor of our show. But, yeah, they were on his car at Road America, and now it's great to see him back on the Cup car when the Cup cars turn it loose at 2:30 our time on Sunday afternoon. No practice, no qualifying, and they announced how the pit stall selections today, as well as the starting lineup will be determined for the first Darlington race. It'll be lined up on owners' points, 1st through 12. Those 12 drivers will get a chance to pull a pill. That's a random draw. Then the next 12 in points, 13th through 23rd or 24th, get their chance to start their positions from 13th to 24th in random draw order. You get the idea. And then after the Cup race on Sunday, Darlington races again on Wednesday night. And Dean, guess what? They're going to invert the top 20 finishers from the first Darlington race to start the second one. That was all announced today.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a tip to the short track world, right? You know, where if you have a twin 50 or a twin 100 or whatever it may be, you'll invert so many cars for the second race. So that's kind of a tip of the cap and a nod, I think, to the short track world. I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, I think it's cool that they're going to Darlington twice within inside of a week.
Yeah.
But then to invert those cars for the second race there, that's pretty cool.
And the 3 races they're making up by racing at Darlington twice and at Charlotte one additional race, those 3 races, they officially are replacing Chicagoland Speedway, Richmond's spring race, and the road course in Sonoma. And Dean, I know you a PA guy at Chicagoland. I'm a season ticket holder there. It's a big blow. The entire weekend's been canceled. People can get a refund or 120% towards an event credit by going to ChicagolandSpeedway.com. So I'm hearing a lot of things. Chicagoland Speedway may or may not be reopened after 2020. What are you thinking?
Well, I certainly hope that it's going to be alive and well after 2020. You know, it's so close to us here at home. And then, of course, being a part of that racetrack on race weekend in the PA booth, it's a big thrill. I like it. It's one of those events that I can drive to. It's a lot of fun. The racing the last couple of years has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
But yes, there was some stories that came out that said if you've been to Chicagoland Speedway, you know that it's a big shipping area. It's a large transport area for trucking, and then rail, and then boating as well. So it's there's a lot of warehouses right around Chicagoland Speedway, and that's the story that came out that you're referencing this past week. That's that part of the land of Chicagoland Speedway will be developed into warehouses.
And NASCAR shopping it. They have 82 acres, they say, may not be needed for parking anymore, so let's see if there's an industrial use for that. That's the latest best news that we've heard among the many different things that have flown around in the last week since Chicagoland was reportedly not going to return. They also let go a bunch of their staff, so we'll continue to follow that. I don't know if the NHRA race will be back. They're going to move from July to later in the year as NHRA postponed all their races till August 1 or after. We'll have to keep following that. We certainly will here on the Racing Roundup Show. Looking at things, how they shook out in the iRacing world, Ty Majeski, Wisconsin Proud, won the Martinsville Saturday Night Thunder on Friday night, and Denny Hamlin won at North Wilkesboro, which is now open to all iRacers to download. They included a 1987 Monte Carlo and a 1987 Ford Thunderbird as part of the rollout on iRacing for that track. It was pretty cool to see on Sunday. Dean, in the world of short track racing, we actually could talk about some short track stuff. What's going on as far as results? You said, I can't wait, man. We got some racing to talk about. Real racing.
There's actual real racing going on this past weekend. The dirt late models were at I-55 Raceway in Peabody, Missouri this past Saturday night. And Hall of Famer Billy Moyer started from the outside of the front row, led wire to wire, in claiming the $7,000 payday and the 50-lap headliner. Moyer also was the fast qualifier in his group, and he also won his heat race, so he had a pretty good night. Lap traffic played a factor in the closing laps of the feature, which allowed Brandon Shepard to peek under Moyer for the lead on several occasions. However, it was Moyer who held on to the top spot and earned the victory. Brandon Shepard, Devin Moran completed the top three. World of Outlaw late models return to Peabody, Missouri this weekend, Friday and Saturday. Now, admission will be limited, social distancing. Again, the order of the day, Saturday is sold out. I was on the World of Outlaw website earlier this afternoon, and as of this afternoon, tickets remained for the Friday night portion of that, again, at Peabody, Missouri. Kenny Wallace, guest on the Racing Roundup Show last week. He was also in action at Peabody in his modified this past weekend. He won his heat, led the feature for 21 of 25 laps, and then, Jim, all things went sour for Herm as he had to settle for a 12th place finish at the Checkers. But nearly 50 modifieds checked in at Peabody and 60 late models. Jim, do you get the impression that these guys are chomping at the bit to go racing?
Yeah, they are. And Peabody, Missouri, as we talked with Steve Sinclair of the iRace Sprints, that's the hotbed. They're going to host a lot more races at Peabody's I-55 Speedway right there on the interstate because Missouri's state allows for racing with a limited number of fans in the stands. So World of Outlaws have poured in there. Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt's going to race in Missouri coming up. So it seems like that's where it's going to be picking up. And it's not a bad drive there.
Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt cars were scheduled to go to Lucas Oil Speedway tonight and tomorrow night for the Lucas Oil reopening tour, and that was postponed, or I should say canceled, because of some unfavorable weather forecasts. They're going to move those dates Thursday night, May 21st, Golden Isle Speedway, and May 25th, East Bay Raceway. So you can watch those, lucasoilracing.tv, or on the Lucas Oil Facebook page. They're going to start next week, Tuesday night, at Golden Isle Speedway. So after you get done here on the Racing Roundup Show next week, Tuesday night, you can switch on over and watch the dirt late models from the Lucas Oil Dirt Late Models.
And next Tuesday as well, the NASCAR race from Darlington, the NASCAR Xfinity Series, that'll be carried live here on our radio stations. Right after our show, we'll join that race in progress. So if you've got the multi-screen thing going, you got a lot of options starting next Tuesday night.
Sprint cars were in action. They got back underway on Friday night. The World of Outlaw Sprint Cars at Knoxville Raceway in Iowa. And man, oh man, what an event. In front of no fans at that massive facility. It was invite only for the teams. 48 teams were invited. Social distancing, the order of the day in the pit areas. There was an empty pit stall between each team's hauler. Every crew member required to wear a face mask. Only 5 members per team were allowed, and a total of 380 people were allowed on the grounds. The event was broadcast live on Dirt Vision, and for those of you that subscribed, myself included, were treated to a dandy of an A main. Darren Pittman led early before losing the lead to Ian Madsen, the 2-time Knoxville track champion. But then, coming to the white flag, David Gravel ducked under Madsen, swept away to the lead and the $10,000 win. Madsen finished runner-up. Logan Schuhart rounded out the top 3 with the win. Gravel backs up his 2019 Knoxville Nationals victory. It was a really, really good show. And Jim, it was a star-studded field.
Yeah,
Kyle
I
Larson
looked at the entry list.
10th in the A main after starting 18th. Casey Kane finished 19th in the B main. Brooke Tatnall, he was invited, but he didn't have a ride. So he hopped in. Scotty Fields, number 64. He advanced to the A main through the heat race action, finished 17th. And Bill Balog, we had him on the show a couple of weeks ago. His night was just an uphill battle all night long. He went out to qualify, couldn't get the machine started. So he finally did get it fired off, but he only got 1 qualifying lap. It wasn't too terribly good. So he was playing from behind all night long. Was in the C main. They took 2 out of the C main. He finished 3rd. So Bill Balog had a night not to remember there at Knoxville, but he and the B Squared Motorsports team will be in action this Friday and Saturday. Jackson, Minnesota, Jackson Motorplex, again, an event that is going to be run without any fans in the stands.
Dean, thanks a bunch. We're going to actually end your connection because we're going to reconnect with you and Todd Thielen from Slinger Speedway. So, Dean, take a breath. We got some great things to tell the fans about right now, including the opportunity for you to win something really cool. I did watch the Chili Bowl iRacing event Wednesday night. I thought it was really neat, really accurate, I thought. The track was great. I love the Fox Sports 1 coverage of actually them covering a lot of in-car camera stuff, which was really cool to see. If you've not been to the Chili Bowl, get a slice, get a chance to watch the FS1 coverage this past Wednesday. Jeff Gordon raced in the Chili Bowl. Clint Boyer owns a dirt late model. Those guys were the commentators. I thought they did a nice job. Adam Alexander, I thought, was really good, handling how things came and went. They called the great race. It was actually a really good race, and just like the real life, Keith Kunz Motorsports had something to say about it. Their 3 drivers in that race were 1, 2, and 3 at one point. The leaders, Cannon McIntosh, tried a slider on Zeb Wise, the other teammate for Keith Kunz Motorsports. That didn't work so well. He ended up wadded up on the backstretch. That let their third teammate from Keith Kunz Motorsports, a little Oklahoma teenager, scoot on through and for the win. 14-year-old Oklahoman Toyota development driver for Keith Kunz Motorsports, Dyson Pursley, went on to win the race. Californian Robert Dalby was second, B-Main winner, and ARCA Menard Series East Rev Racing driver Chase Cabry ran third. Here's your chance to see something very cool. It's called a Charge and Go from Interstate Batteries of Southeast Wisconsin. We have it on our desk right here. You can win this. We're going to start entries right now. Enter an email to contest to win. Send your email to racingroundup@gmail.com. Racingroundup@gmail.com. In the subject line, put Win Interstate. It's a Charge and Go portable unit that has 2 USB ports to charge your devices. It also has an emergency light. It could also jumpstart a 12-volt battery up to a 6.0-liter engine. That is a powerful little unit. We're going to give this away, but you have to enter to win via email, thanks to our friends at Interstate Batteries of Southeast Wisconsin. So send that email now to racingroundup@gmail.com and put in the subject line, Win Interstate. And this Charge and Go power-up portable device could be yours. It's got 2 ways to charge it as well, whether it be your car battery, or your car plug, DC power, or AC power from the wall. So it can really help you when you go camping, when you're going on the road, when you're getting to the racetrack. 2 USB ports can be used at the same time to charge up your devices. Thanks to Interstate Batteries of Southeast Wisconsin, we're giving this Charge and Go away to some lucky listener of our show. So if you don't see it, you can certainly still enter to win via the email, racingroundup@gmail.com. Comment line, Win Interstate is all you have to put in the subject line, and we're good to go. We have one member on our program named Dean Strong we've already heard from. We are now happily joined via the world of Skype. We're going a 3-way call here with Todd Thielen, promoter at Slinger Super Speedway. Todd, welcome to the Racing Roundup Show.
Thanks. Good to see you guys.
Really good to see you. We've got pictures of the dog on the wall. You've got a picture of Matt Kenseth's 18th win at the Slinger Nashville. Okay, 8th win. Sorry, I got a little excited. It's neat to see. Dean and I are talking racing now, and we've been talking about how Slinger Super Speedway has been one of the few tracks to let the track open for testing. Todd, how did that come about? How much work went into getting the track open for cars to come out with social distancing in mind to practice at your quarter-mile racetrack?
That was a ton of work. It seems like it was a year ago. It started, I would say, the end of March when safer at home orders came in. I don't have all the dates in front of me, but the short story is, got together with the local representative Rick Gundrum, the Village of Slinger administrator Margaret, the village police chief, any local authorities that would listen, and everybody was very gracious. They got folks in Madison riled up a little bit and able to listen to us, what we wanted to do, and it wasn't open the gates to let fans in or anything like that. It was just to let racers come in and test. And we got an email from Madison that said we were still not essential, but we had permission to race. To practice. And that's how we did that. So a lot of legwork, a lot of people, local officials that helped out, and very baby steps, as they say. So that was our first baby step to get going, and we're still chasing after it.
So on the schedule right now, Todd, you have Dean Strong working in a golf cart in the infield, Todd bailing on PA for this Sunday. Are things still in place for this Sunday going racing?
So this Sunday is still a work in progress,
okay,
as we all are waiting for Safer at Home to at least the order to be decided. And I'm on that fence of, come on already. Whether it's yays or nays, let's get something going here so we can make another plan. And we do have contingency plans in place just in case if we are not able to go. And I'm ready to race without fans in the stands. We've got a pay-per-view deal lined up, and we're ready to have at it.
So that means we'll hear a lot of Todd Bailing and Dean Strom. Dean, are you ready for this? You've been boning up on this? You got your notes ready for the year?
Well, I just learned about this a couple hours ago when I had a conference call with Todd Bailing and with Elizabeth Thielen. So we were talking, and that's the first I heard of it. I think it would be absolutely fantastic. We need to get out at the racetrack. We need to, we need to smell those gas fumes and those rubber fumes and hear those noises. But Todd, as exciting as that would be to have a pay-per-view event, I think I'm with you. I'd rather see fans in the stands. But as great as a potential for a pay-per-view is, I think it's important to note that that's not really a long-term sustainable business model, is it?
No, it's not. And the plan is, if we can't get fans in the stands, but we can do the pay-per-view, to do that this week, hopefully not next week, but that would be as close as we could get to sustaining it 1 or 2 weeks. And the reality is, I think there'd be a bump. People be excited, something different, and people want to get out to their local racetrack, whether it's Slinger Speedway or Jefferson or Knoxville or wherever their favorite home track is. That's where they want to be. They don't want to be watching in their home on YouTube, or on TV or on their computer.
And Todd Thielen, what has been the reaction? I know Dean has an opinion on this as well. What's been the reaction of the racers that have been able to test, and how joyful are they going, man, I got my car ready, I'm itching, I got to get out there, I've got to get this car dialed in? Or maybe there's other guys from other tracks saying, thank you for getting us a chance to shake down our cars before we go racing. What's been the reaction, Todd?
Outpouring of support, very positive. Everybody is glad to get out of their shop and on at the racetrack. And this is business, and this is one of the things that we were pushing to anybody that would listen in Madison. Our race car drivers, race car teams are contractors, and they have businesses they have to get ready to operate, and this is what they do. They go to the racetrack and they get their business ready so they can compete. And so for the race fan, it was fun to hear cars or see the videos. We didn't let any fans in. We're still at that 9 or under in the pits, and nobody in the grandstands to even watch practice. But it was a huge boost, I believe, to give people something to hold on to, that the end is near. And I don't care if you're a golfer, a soccer player, a baseball player, or a racer. Everybody's had enough already. And yes, the virus is real. We all want to be healthy, but there's plenty of folks that are willing to take the chance and go out and enjoy their life.
Indeed. And Todd, while we have you on, you're the one making these decisions. When the decision is made, where can fans, where can competitors watching or listening to this show find out the latest info when things develop? Is it on your website? Is it Facebook? Is it all of the above? What would be the easiest place or places for fans to find out and competitors to find out the latest info?
Well, we are in direct communication through social media and email and phone calls and texts to all of our regular competitors that race weekly at Slinger last year. Most of them know what's going on. The short answer is go to slingersuperspeedway.com, go to our official fan page. The racers know we've got a private page for the racers that they're only allowed to go to for the race teams. And tune into the Racing Roundup Show and tune into whatever social media is out there. We'll be pushing the agenda.
Sounds really good. And for Dean Strom and his new Sharpie collection, because he's going to be on the pay-per-view broadcast when it happens, when will those details be announced? Will it be a social blast? Will it be all over the front page? When can we know about the pay-per-view if that's the direction you're going?
Well, Dean's trying to talk me into doing this Facebook Live deal. So I can't give any timeline, just
Okay.
exactly what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Just stay tuned.
Okay.
And we had a little release today with Representative Gundrum, and that got legs pretty fast. And I just put that on my page, and I'm not a Dean Strom. I'm not one of those Facebook guys that has all these legs. So
Yeah.
it went pretty fast. And I think when we announce specifically what we're doing, and if Dean actually talks me into doing a Facebook Live, that'll be a very efficient and effective way of getting out there, and everybody will share it and let people know what's going on.
Gotcha. Sounds like a really good plan. Todd Thielen with Slinger Speedway, thanks for joining us. Give us the latest info. We wanted to get a hold of you before things really got rolling. It sounds like you've been rolling for a while on getting things going at the world's fastest quarter-mile oval. Thank you.
I have two plugs I have to put in here.
Okay.
Thank you to Midstate. Got our John Deere riding lawnmower this afternoon, and I hurried home with our new Dodge Charger pace car from Uptown in Slinger.
Wow, nice.
I think I got home in like record time.
You were worried about getting on the show in time, and all of a sudden you might have had a time for eating dinner or something before you actually came on the show. That's impressive.
Yes, I had a little bite to eat and grabbed the water, and here we are. So
Todd,
thanks for having me on, guys.
Thank you. And Slinger Super Speedway is the website. That's the Facebook page you want to go to, official Slinger page. Dean Strom and I are here for a while. We're going to actually take a commercial break. When we come back, we're talking dirt racing with Chris Carlson. And then, you know what? When we go to thank people, Todd Thielen just thanked a couple of his folks. We want to thank our friends at ARR West Recycling, Allied Resource Recovery in West Dallas, Recycling at 80th and Burnham. They're open. All three locations are open. They're also in Waukesha at 1001 Tesh Court. Also at National Salvage on South 44th Street across from Miller Park. Allied now has roll-off dumpster service for your home or business spring cleaning projects. Visit AlliedResourceRecovery.com, a great supporter of us and short track racing. When we come back, we're talking to Chris Carlson. We've got a lot to talk about. He just debuted on social media the new look of his dirt modified he's going racing with this summer here in Wisconsin. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned for more of the Racing Roundup Show. Thanks for listening in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and in Madison on 1070 The Game. We'll be right back.
ARR has been recycling for over 80 years and is here to help you with your spring cleaning. Take them your recyclable metals and they'll pay you cash. ARR buys aluminum, brass, copper, lead, and steel. And contractors, ARR has a bonus program just for you that puts more cash in your pocket. Find their full list of accepted materials at ARR1938.com. ARR with locations in West Dallas, Waukesha, and Milwaukee, right next to Miller Park. ARR Recycling since 1938.
Automatic Transmission Design is located in Germantown, Wisconsin. They've been hard at work the last 15 years in perfecting the best performance racing transmissions and converters. The folks at ATD have made it possible to offer the best quality and most affordably priced winning components for off-road, drag racing, truck pulling, and circle track applications. ATD may not be the biggest or most famous company in the marketplace, but they have the will and put in that extra effort to provide you with the best products available. ATD's certified technicians go through a comprehensive quality checklist on every transmission and converter they build. Then it's tested on their in-house dyno. Only then is the product ready for shipment to the customer. ATD takes these steps to provide you with the best quality products every time. They are 100% guaranteed. Their no returns policy makes sure it's right the first time. The next time you need a performance transmission or converter, give Charlie a call at 262-251-7777 or visit autotransdesign.com.
Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment is a fully equipped parts, sales, and service dealer of quality mowers, snow throws, trimmers, chainsaws, and more. Olson services what they sell, does warranty service work on big box store mowers, and their expert service technicians are ready to get your equipment running right. Put their stock parts department and friendly, knowledgeable staff to work for you. Visit the racers at Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment today at 14323 West College Avenue, just 1 mile east of Moreland Road in Muskego. Olson'sPower.com. Olson's Power Equipment.
You're listening to the Racing Roundup Show. Visit the show's website, racingroundup.net. Like the show on Facebook and follow on Twitter at Racing Roundup. Stay tuned in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and in Madison on 1070 The Game. We'll be right back.
spotlight on small businesses doing good right now. Visit iHeart.com/small business to learn more. That's iHeart.com/small business. Because your small business is big to us.
This is the Big 920.
Welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show live in the kitchen this Tuesday evening on May 12th. Glad to have you with us. Lots going on. This portion of the show is brought to you by Bonafide Security Solutions. To select the right business and residential security system for your needs, including alarm systems, closed circuit and card access, it's a lock. Contact the racers at Bonafide Security Solutions. They're great short track supporters. The number is 262-790-9400 or go online to bonafidesafe.com. We now welcome in a driver who's got a brand new ride for 2020. He's a champion of in recent years at Wilmot Raceway in the modifieds. He's been back on the dirt with a modified with that PF Flyer bunch. Let's welcome in Chris Carlson to the show. Chris, thanks for coming on the Racing Roundup Show.
Thanks for having me, Jim.
When it comes to this kind of setup, you've had a chance to massage your car to work it where you want it. You've not been on the track yet, I guess, because that car looks brand new. Is it ready to race, or is it just pretty on the outside right now?
It's pretty much ready to race. So we've just been taking weekends to work on it. It's funny how things change. Usually we'd be racing already, so we would have been thrashing around to get stuff ready. And now all of a sudden it's like, let's just do a little bit this weekend. Let's do another this next weekend. And we're not really getting everything done all at one time. So this last weekend was just getting the trailer organized and cleaned up and making sure all of our spares are ready and things like that.
And working with PF Flyer, with Chuck Berry and Lee Sones and the guys, they work on other cars. They get a lot of cars done in the off season and during the season. You're kind of the house chassis, which could mean you're second in the pecking order or third, depending on the damage from the week prior. But this time has allowed you to put a car together. Is it brand new? And what was the design of the paint job inspiration?
Actually, it's last year's car that we're running, but we took it out and had it painted this year. So, yeah, it's all nice and shiny and pretty now. Actually, I was using my dad's colors. He had purple and gold cars in the past, so we kind of wanted to make something that was a little retro look. And, if you could see the body up close, the stuff that Chuck did on it is really cool. I mean, the little details that he did, you don't see it from pictures, but he really paid attention to the little details, and that thing is cool looking up close.
When you won your championship at Wilmot Raceway, to that point, you were racing with equipment you were directly hands-on with, not directly with Chuck on a given weekly basis. Now that you are, and seeing the handiwork that Chuck's been able to do, Get Bent by Chuck's been around a long time, those nuances will help you do what exactly on the racetrack? How is that going to benefit you with the little tweaks of the body going this angle and the A-pillar going this angle and that kind of thing?
It's funny. I was thinking about it today, and I wish that Chuck would have been involved with us years ago when we were racing, especially when we were racing full time. Through my racing career, I was always managing everything, and now Chuck's the manager of the race team, and the ordering of parts and hey, this is what we need. He takes care of all of that stuff, so we can he'll ask me what do we need, and we'll say okay, let's get that, and then we can just put it on the car. And I'm not calling around trying to find equipment or anything like that. I wish he would have been around with us a long time ago, because I think he's the one piece of the puzzle that we were missing for a long time.
And Chris, does this start year 2 or year 3 with the relationship with Chuck and PF Flyer directly?
So this will be our second year with those guys. So actually Chuck's the car owner, and then Bruce is part of the team, Bill is part of the team, and Trixie's part of the team. They're all team owners. And then we just do the maintenance on it. We go racing, and my hope is that they can just sit back and enjoy themselves and enjoy the races. And last year we were a little bit up and down. We finished second a lot, and I think this year we've done some more homework, and I think we have a pretty good piece now.
Speaking of Chris Carlson, racing a dirt modified, looks brand spanking new, ready to go racing. What was your schedule like last year, and how similar will it be in 2020, Chris, when you go racing?
So right now, because of COVID, we're looking at just racing at Wilmot. Last year we went to 141 a couple times, and man, beautiful place. I love the track. I stunk there. But that's a different style of racing up there, and I think you just got to turn laps in that track. So we're not going to go up there and race this year. I think we're just going to stick mostly with Wilmot, and it's because it's close to home. Everybody can show up. I don't think we want to have everybody out driving around and things like that. So right now, being to have the car owners come to the races and watch us race is what's important now.
Wilmot Raceway will be where you want to race all the season. When the season begins, how are you able to capture the information you need or want about Wilmot Raceway specifically, and if you want to go test or if you want to get laps in there or when the season starts, where have you been keeping track of how Wilmot Raceway may open and when they will open?
Yeah, right now we've just been paying attention to the Facebook page and seeing if there's any information out there. I think Chuck's been messaging the track every once in a while just to see when they're planning on getting things running. It'll be interesting to see if they're even going to have any practices or if we're just going to dive right into this and go racing. That'll be kind of interesting to see. But in years past, we never really went and practiced at all. We'd end up down in Brownstown racing, at the end of March. And so we were out racing right away and didn't have practice. So it'll be interesting to see whether they do that or not.
Speaking of Chris Carlson, who's been supported by a number of local sponsors, another great sponsor that splashed across the door, that number C12 Modified you'll see racing at Wilmot Raceway, is Central Services Company. The Boer family involved for over 45 years now in landscaping and lawn care. They're one of the sponsors you have on your car. They're a sponsor of our show, I think, since day one. So it's great to have companies like that supporting your deal. Who else is along for the ride this year when it comes to support on that number C12 Modified, Chris?
Yeah, so we have Central Services, and I feel really fortunate that Gary's on board. We were competitors with Brett on a yearly basis. I mean, all through my racing career at Halo Corners, Brett and I, we raced a lot together, and it is really cool being able to have Gary's logo on the side of the car. I wear that with a badge of honor because it's pretty cool. He's an influential guy in racing, and it is neat to have him as part of our team. Friends on Forest Home, Diamond Jim Auto Sales, raced against Diamond Jim forever with the late models, and I'm happy that he's part of our team as well too. Every once in a while I get to talk to him, and he's a fun guy to talk to. PF Flyer race cars, get bent by Chuck, Premier Fabrication. It's great being in the shop with Lee and Chuck. I really enjoy my time with Lee, and I learn a lot from him, and he's just fun to be around. You've been around Lee a little bit, and he's one of those guys who likes to make people laugh.
Oh, yeah.
And he makes the time we're at the shop very enjoyable. Diamond Wheels, Right Foot Products, Civic Racing Engines, and thesoggymonkey.com. So thesoggymonkey.com, that's our business. That's my brother and I just started this business up doing steel artwork, and we're trying something new outside of our regular careers.
Soggy Monkey artwork was dropped off at my basketball hoop this week. Thank you, Chris, for doing that. What a great surprise. I'm holding it now for all to see. There's one behind Chris, as you can see on the wall as well. You've got a Hell's Corner Speedway metal art there. What was the inspiration for this? I know you're a really good design artist. When you put your mind to it, you really come out some awesome stuff. This is spectacular to see how you've done this metal art. How can people get their hands on great stuff like this?
Yeah, we've been
well, we've got a frozen connection. Thanks to Skype for being part of our program. We've had some really good success, and unfortunately, we've had our first glitch via the Skype. But I am holding up one of the yep, there goes Chris. We're going to let him go. The Dirt Track Racing American Tradition, this actual metal sign you can look at design122.com. Design122.com is where you can find out more about how these soggymonkey.com guys get going after it. So it's great to see Chris and his brother Corey doing this metal art. I'm thankful that they gave me this one. I'm going to hang on to it because my son said, wait a minute, we can't give that away. You can get your very own by going to design122.com and find out what the Soggy Monkey guys are really doing. Thanks to Chris Carlson for being on the show. We're moving on. We've got a lot to cover. We are going to talk to the Egan boys. Dad Mike, son Nick, they race late models, super lates all over Wisconsin. They're part of Team Bonafide. We're talking to them next. And Rich Bickle is on with our show after 7. Stay tuned. This is the Racing Roundup Show.
Stay tuned for more of the Racing Roundup Show. Thanks for listening in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and in Madison on 1070 The Game. We'll be right back.
It's back. The NASCAR Xfinity Series Henry 180 makes its return to Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin's Road America, August 6th through the 8th. The weekend will feature incredible wheel-to-wheel action along with the SCCA Pro Trans Am Series and the return of the incredible Stadium Super Trucks that fly 20 feet off the ground. It's a green flag of family fun and activities. Call 1-800-365-RACE or print your tickets at home. Visit roadamerica.com. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Road America, your national park of speed.
Bobby Gutnick and the technicians at Oak Creek Automotive on South 27th Street in Drexel are experts in automotive repair. For over 30 years and counting, the Napa Certified Car Care Center at Oak Creek Automotive handles emissions testing plus minor to major repair, from oil changes to engine and transmission replacement. Call Oak Creek Automotive 414-761-3250. They're open for your convenience Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. till 9 p.m. and Friday, 7 a.m. till 6 p.m. For all your vehicle repair needs, head to South 27th Street and Drexel to the pros at Oak Creek Automotive.
Speed 51's Video Network, where the battles are legendary. Get the full picture on short track racing. We will take you behind the scenes.
It's just a meathead.
Your track, your driver, your sport, your passion. Dirt, late models, modifieds, and more. Race highlights, recaps, interviews, historic races, and thousands of on-demand videos. The Speed 51 Network, short track racers' home for the greatest video coverage.
You're listening to the Racing Roundup Show. Visit the show's website, racingroundup.net. Like the show on Facebook and follow on Twitter at Racing Roundup. Stay tuned in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and in Madison on 1070 The Game. We'll be right back.
It is the best frozen pizza I have ever had. Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza.
This is the Big 920.
We are back on the Racing Roundup Show. Glad to have you with us here for this 90-minute show. We're flying by. We're on until 7:30. Now, next Tuesday night, when you join our show, NASCAR will be in full swing. They're racing Sunday at Darlington. They're back racing Tuesday night at Darlington Raceway. You'll be joined in progress right here on these radio stations to listen to live coverage from MRN Radio from Darlington of the NASCAR Xfinity Series race. We'll join that in progress at 7:30 next Tuesday. when our show concludes. We also want to tell you that if you're looking to sell or buy a home or commercial property, choose Matt Rapina, Caldwell Banker Home Sale Realty. List and buy with confidence. Hire a realtor that has the knowledge and expertise to get your deal done. Not all realtors are the same. Choose Caldwell Banker Home Sale Realty and list it with Matt Rapina. Knowledge is power. Hire knowledge. Visit mattrapina.com. mattrapina.com. We have a special segment here because a great supporter of ours, Bonafide Security Solutions, has a couple of racers, and Team Bonafide's grown. 2019, there was a bunch of racers supported by Team Bonafide. We're now hanging out with Mike Egan of Bonafide Security Solutions. Dean Strom's back with us, and we're getting Nick Egan involved in the gang, too. This is going to be kind of fun. Mike, welcome to the Racing Roundup Show. Thanks again for your support.
Hey, thanks for having us.
And Nick's hanging out with us. Hi, Nick.
Hey, how's it going?
You were kind of sitting there quiet. I didn't know if you saw us or not. I'm just giving you a wave. We're doing really good. Dean's on with us as well. And you guys, you may not have heard, but Todd Thielen's hoping to go racing this Sunday at Slinger Super Speedway. Will we see one or two Egan cars on Sunday at Slinger Speedway on the High Banks?
Out rashing away trying to get done.
Is it going to be Mike as the spotter? Mike going racing? What's going on?
Well, I haven't raced in almost 2 years. I'm ready to get back on track. So the Super Late will be there for sure. And my car's almost done.
And And Nick, for those who don't know, you raced at Slinger a ton. You've also traveled with the Midwest Truck Series, done some Big 8 racing. What is the plan for Nick Egan in 2020?
It's still to be decided if we ever finish this car. We talked about maybe running a couple of Tundra races if possible with the limited concept engine and running some Big 8 races and running a Slinger a little while too.
And Nick, you dabbled in that a little bit last year, didn't you? Doing some racing around the area?
Yeah, we did. We ran the Big 8 Series full time. We missed one race and still finished 5th in the points. And had a lot of bad fortune. It seemed like we had 3 DNFs in the series and still came out in the top 5. So if we can put together a full season ever, we got a pretty good chance, we think.
Indeed. We're talking to Mike Egan and his son Nick Egan, both racers, also part of Team Bonafide. Dean, I know that you were part of Slinger Speedway. You got to see and follow the Egan boys. How much fun is it having them around at the racetrack and seeing how much fun they have doing what they love to do as well?
Well, there's no doubt that they have a lot of fun, and I know that they do drink a lot of beer, and maybe that's why the Egan trailer is so popular after the races.
Yeah, okay.
Free beer.
Tell us about building a new race car over the winter. What the thought process was behind that, and you mentioned it's not done yet, but how the whole program and how the whole process is coming along.
Yeah, it's been going really good. We basically started with a Howe car, and we just started changing pickup points where we thought they needed to be, and we took a couple other reference cars from manufacturers that are to not be announced, and we kind of made something customized, kind of like what we did with the truck when we built our truck from the ground up. So we had a lot of fun working with Reed Racing and out in Hartford there, and we're trying to build something that can hopefully be a little bit more competitive than the late models and the super late models around the state of Wisconsin.
We actually built our car, and then Dassault built one just like it too for a super late.
And I know that Mike, that's something that you like, right? You like getting down in there, building your own car, making it your own, putting your own little special touches on it. It's kind of like building an extra big model, isn't it?
Yeah, it just took a lot longer. It always takes twice as long as you think it's going to take, but yeah, I like doing the fabricating part and building the interiors, mounting the bodies, and I enjoy all of that.
And when it comes to going in the shop, I know Nick has been a big design guy. I see you guys are sitting around some stuff. What can we see on our Skype feed here on the Racing Roundup Show's webcast feed on our website and on Facebook Live? What are we looking at?
It's the pit box.
Perfect. It hides a lot of super speedway secrets then, doesn't it?
Hey, you don't want to see the rest of the garage. It's a mess.
And Nick, when it comes to designing, you've been probably behind designs on helmets, like Alex Prunty's awesome Alan Hwicky helmet, to race car designs. When did that itch start? Was it with crayons in kindergarten, drawing race cars and paint schemes that look beautiful, and helmets and other things you design around racing?
Yeah, I drew a lot of things when I was in school because I tried not to pay attention because I tried to get my homework done early so I could mess around. And then I got a job working for Travis Stassa and TD Graphics when I was about 14 years old. It's about 10 years to the month that I've been working there. So that's pretty exciting. And Travis
His birthday's tomorrow.
Happy birthday.
When I was in high school, and I've been working for him ever since.
Is that why your car number's 13, Nick? Because tomorrow's May 13th.
Honestly, yeah. Because we were racing the following weekend after Mother's Day, and I didn't have a number picked out yet. And I was like, well, I guess it can be 13. There's not that many of them.
And you guys love the color green, which are the two, what are you doing with number 13 and what are you doing with green? But it doesn't seem to slow you guys down one bit, does it?
We like peanuts, too.
Now, Team Bonafide, that's the colors of the business, Mike. We'll talk business here for a minute. Bonafide Security Solutions, we like to say on our show, thanks for your support. They protect what you value. In what's become an unknown every day, what has Bonafide Security Solutions been able to do and provide for folks that want to secure their gun safe or their home security or their business lock changeovers or closed-circuit cameras?
Well, right now with all of the things that are going on in the world, there's a lot of people locking their lobbies and locking their showrooms and putting pass-throughs in and doing different things to help keep the public safe. So we've been doing a lot of that the last month and a half or whatever this has been going on. And I think that based on that and the way the world is now, I think it's going to be a different place moving forward. And I think that's going to become more of the norm than the exception going forward.
With what you guys do on a daily basis, you're on the cusp of everything technology-wise, whether you can answer your phone and look through the doorbell cameras to pulling into Victory Lane at Slinger Super Speedway. Leonard's got the brand new logo all painted up there, and wouldn't you know, I see online, Bonafide Security Solutions has their truck right there in the middle of the exit, Slinger Speedway. What have you guys done at Slinger Super Speedway with Team Bonafide?
Well, a couple of years ago, Todd and Rodney came to me. They were looking for a better way to officiate the races, I guess. And we talked for months and months and months about putting video cameras in, and finally decided maybe that was the way to go. So it took a while for them to get used to it, but actually a lot of people don't even know it. There's video cameras in each of the four corners, and they videotape the races, and they use that to make some of the calls. There's a designated person, I believe it's Stuart Krishkin, watches and reviews the tape, and they have a whole procedure and process. So I think it's helped them officiate the races, and we've actually looked at a couple of other racetracks to do maybe this summer or next summer, depending on what happens going forward here. And
that's all part of and you guys as racers know what should be done, what the angle should be, where you should look. Slinger doesn't allow three-wide racing. I had this discussion this past week with my friends at NNS Towing about dirt racing versus, say, Slinger going 3 and 4 wide. We know the Bs can get around there 3 and 4 wide, but those cameras, I'm thinking, helping discussion of who got what position on a restart or where they should be realigned or who is all involved in the contact, right?
A little bit of both, actually. Okay. Sometimes it comes to where they were on the last lap and, if somebody started a restart too early or got into somebody and didn't admit it. They use it more for that. I mean, I don't think they make, I'll call it critical calls, but they use it for getting the cars back in the right spot and maybe seeing who passed the guy after the yellow was out or things like that. And when it comes to racing, Dean Strom will bring you back in because I know when Mike Egan is racing, he's there as a supporter. Where'd you get those from? Dave Reed just dropped them off. Nice. We have some breaking news. They took them away quick, so you can't really freeze frame on the Skype feed to see the settings. Yeah. Dean, when it comes to racing, Mike Egan is more than just a racer. He's a supporter of a lot of people, and I know he also is probably one of the first guys to racing legend Jerry Eckhart's holler if Jerry has something to use or need, and I'm thinking that's kind of cool. That's kind of what Mike Egan can bring to that pit area, right? A lot of close-knit racing fraternity is what I think Mike Egan can represent. Do you agree, Dean?
I do, and of course, Mike is just had a house just down the road from the racetrack, not very far, so he brings a lot of local flavor to the Slinger Super Speedway. And both him and Nick just great representations, and not only on the track, but as you mentioned, Jim, with through their business, the Bonafide Security Solutions, and Mike, you can speak to this, the different drivers that you support via your business.
Well, I guess we came up with that whole thing a couple years ago. I'm not going to lie, it wasn't really my idea. Somebody else came up with it. And it's worked well to kind of sift through it. I guess we like to help people who started off the way I did back in 1981, where I took every dollar I had from my paycheck to buy whatever parts I could buy from the race car, and all of our friends helped put it together. And I guess we kind of target towards I'll call it the younger crowds, the people that are trying to get established and trying to learn the sport. I mean, and it's more than just a monetary thing. I try and I guess help them with the right things to do and the wrong things to do. I'm a good example of some of the wrong things, I think, but how to be a good racer, how to be a good neighbor, how to be a good person in the racing community. I guess I try my best to do all of that.
And you do it well, and there's a lot of racers that benefit from your kindness, from your support. Team Bonafide last year, you designated a number of drivers, and I understand that Team Bonafide is still in process, but we don't know exactly what that's going to be. Is that right, for 2020 just yet?
Yeah, this, again, back to the COVID-19 thing, which I hate to talk about anymore, but that kind of put the stop on everything. So we were kind of waiting to see what's going to happen, and kind of hopeful that we hear from the Supreme Court soon, and we know what's next, I guess, is the big thing, because nobody knows what's next. I mean, there's some tracks across the country that are closing for the season, and I just hope that doesn't happen around here.
Yeah, for sure. Nick, sponsorship's important. Who has been sponsoring your car? And when you go racing, you and your dad's cars are lettered up. You design them. Who are the sponsors that support your teams?
Yeah, we got to say thanks to Bryan and Stratton College. They came on board last year, and my fiance works there, and they like coming out to the races and having a good time with us. And we're happy that they're able to support us so we can support getting 50 or 100 new fans a year going to the racetrack. So that's always awesome. We got to thank Bonafide Security Solutions, a big supporter of both of us from the get-go. And Motormaster's always making our motors nice and strong. Obermeyer Sporting Auto, Truck and Auto Elegance, Sox Landscaping for letting us get the building here that we're working in now. And we got so many partners and sponsors that have been with us from day one. Ram Tool Auto and Bailing Circle Track. There's so many different people that have supported us. 5-star from either from my first day racing and his first day racing too.
We got a couple of new sponsors this year, Pearl's Pizza. And
up in Jim's place there in Slinger, and Zeller Truck and Auto, Zeller Trucking right here in Hartford, helping us out, making our hauler look good. And yeah, we got a lot of new people on board this year that are hoping to see us be successful and have a good 2020.
And one key component, I believe, to all this is, as you are allowed to help others, it comes down to your crew and your families supporting you. Drop some names on who's helping out the Egan family go racing.
All you guys. They're all here.
Are they? Parade past slowly so you can recognize you by name like you're crossing the stage for some major award. Come on.
Like the ceremony. You got Leo. Come on, Leo. Get over here.
Give us a wave, Leo. You got to bend down a little bit. There you go.
I used to help Leo's brother, Ricky Anderson, at Hales Corners in the 70s.
You got to get lower, guys. We can't see you.
Okay. We're all
there you go.
Ed from Truck and Auto here. And Pete, my brother, has been helping for a long time. Graduate. Todd Gearing used to race a Stinger out at the racetrack for, I don't know, many years. Dave Reed, who's been racing for 100 years with the Mueller brothers and Cindy Peterson. So the only one we're missing is Obermeyer.
Yeah, Ronnie.
Ronnie. The rest of my crew. Yeah, they're part-time.
So this is an important night. Are we holding you from any kind of shop work, or is this part of the discussion of keeping the guys happy with maybe a couple of cold ones and hanging out at the shop on a Tuesday?
Till like 9 or 9:15, but yeah, we got a lot of work to do. There's no question about it. I mean, we're close to ready, but my car's just about done. But Nick's car's got a ways to go.
Awesome to have you guys on the show. Thanks for your support. Bonafidesafe.com is the website to find out your security solutions from Bonafide Security Solutions. Guys, thanks for being on the show, and thanks for getting the crew guys on. That was awesome. That's the first time we had a parade by of crew guys.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you again for your support. We are going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we're talking to another driver. That's Dean Strom and I are going to grill with questions. It's actually been kind of fun, this show, to have Dean as our co-host once again. We do want to tell you that this portion of the show is brought to you by Schlafer Auto Body. Put over 40 years of experience behind your next auto repair job for your daily driver, classic car, or fleet of work trucks. If you're in need of expert auto body repair, see Schlafer Auto Body in Sales and Lannon. They will work all insurance companies. They'll work with all of them on auto body repair and are experts at classic car restoration. If you want to find out their latest projects, check out the latest projects in the family of racers, what they're up to. Search Schlafer Auto Body on Facebook. When we come back with Dean, we've got an author and racer that's still racing. He's got a birthday tomorrow as well, just like Nick Egan. We'll talk to Rich Bickle Jr. next on the Racing Roundup Show.
Stay tuned for more of the Racing Roundup Show. Thanks for listening in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and Madison on 1070 The Game. We'll be right back.
Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment is a fully equipped parts, sales, and service dealer of quality mowers, snow throws, trimmers, chainsaws, and more. Olson services what they sell, does warranty service work on big box store mowers, and their expert service technicians are ready to get your equipment running right. Put their stock parts department and friendly, knowledgeable staff to work for you. Visit the racers at Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment today at 14323 West College Avenue, just 1 mile east of Moreland Road in Muskego. Olson'sPower.com. Olson's Power Equipment.
ARR has been recycling for over 80 years and is here to help you with your spring cleaning. Take them your recyclable metals and they'll pay you cash. ARR buys aluminum, brass, copper, lead, and steel. And contractors, ARR has a bonus program just for you that puts more cash in your pocket. Find their full list of accepted materials at ARR1938.com. ARR with locations in West Allis, Waukesha, and Milwaukee, right next to Miller Park. ARR Recycling since 1938.
If you want to eliminate the hassles of planning a trip to the races, then you should hook up with Boring Bob's escorted NASCAR racing tours. Boring Bob offers transportation, lodging, tickets, nightlife, shuttle service, and more. Boring Bob knows all the back roads into and out of the racetrack. His motor coaches get the best parking spots. Let someone else worry about race traffic after the race. Pick one or pick them all. Go in style to Talladega, Charlotte, Joliet, Daytona, Michigan, and more. You name the race, let Boring Bob do the rest. Boring Bob has great packages for NASCAR, Winston Cup, and Busch Series events, including hotel rooms. Call Boring Bob today to make plans now to go on one of Boring Bob's famous escorted NASCAR racing tours. Boring Bob's always at 414-321-1307. That's 414-321-1307.
Stay tuned to the Racing Roundup Show, America's longest-running weekly motorsports radio program, held in front of a live audience. Stay up to speed every Tuesday night on the local racing scene, NASCAR, and the world of motorsports from 6 to 7:30, live on WOKY AM, the Big 920 Milwaukee, and on WTSO AM 1070, The Game in Madison. Join the racing crowd for tonight's live broadcast. Once again, here's the trackside voice of the Daytona 500 and NASCAR at the track. You hear him on NAV TV's live coverage of the ARCA Menard Series. And now, here's the host of the Racing Roundup Show, Jim Trado.
Hey, gang, thanks for being a part of our show. Next week's going to be another action-packed program once again. Next Tuesday night, we have Knoxville Invitational World of Outlaws winner David Gravel will join us. We have Dirt Kings Tour owner Jason Schultz on the program, Wisconsin native and NASCAR's youngest champion, Sam Mayer of Franklin, Wisconsin. He'll be on the show. And Mid-Am racer Bobby Goodneck with Oak Creek Automotive. Those are our guests next week on the show. We want to tell you that the show would not be even close to what it is now without great support. And a special note of congratulations to our engineer extraordinaire, Dave Schmalzer and his wife, Susan. They are celebrating their 47th wedding anniversary today. And we're doing their show in a kitchen. So thanks to Dave for hanging out with us on his anniversary, hanging out in the kitchen with us. Couldn't do the show without him for many, many years since we went live at Monreal's El Matador. Before that, we were at Springdale Inn. Dave's been through us the entire way. So thank you, Dave, and his wife, Sue, for putting up with us and for all the great things he does and all the gadgets and all the cool things that he goes out and gets to make this show possible and enjoys the heck out of having us invade what he's got going on a weekly basis. So thank you, Dave, and congratulations on your wedding anniversary. Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment in Muskego is open. I checked in with Neil and the Sonny, the Olson boys that are at the shop every day in Muskego. They're open to service your machine. If you're sick of doing the 7 or 8 different steps to try to start your mower, why don't you get a new one? Why don't you get it where you can service what they sell? They'll service what you already bought, but Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment is available for you for service needs. Their inventory is online as well at olsonspower.com. You can buy parts on their website, check things out, but they are great when it comes to service of small engines, and they can sell you some really new, nice equipment as well. olsonspower.com, Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment in Muskego is just down the road from Maddie's Pub and Grill there. So if you know where Maddie's is, Olson's is right there as well to service what you need in Muskego. Dean Strom's with us. We also have a birthday boy joining us on the program. He turns, I don't know what, doesn't matter, tomorrow because he's racing and winning a bunch. Let's welcome in Rich Bickle to the Racing Roundup Show. Richie, how are you?
Great, guys. How you doing?
Really good. Welcome to Skype as well. You and Darcy did a nice job getting things squared away.
That was a first for everything.
There's Rich and Dean. I know that we've got, he's our last guest, so we don't know where this is going to go, but we know that Rich Bickle knows how to go faster on the racetrack. You're far from done, mister. You've had a really fast race car. You put it together literally to run the Snowball Derby last December. Had a really good shot at a really fast race car until some young kid got in the way and took you out. But that's exciting for me to see how fast you are, how equipped you are to go racing. And I'm guessing you had a little shakedown at Slinger Super Speedway this past week. Let's talk first about how that went down to prepare for 2020 here in Wisconsin.
Well, it's kind of funny. We got a bunch of brand new cars, and all of a sudden this test come available, and Tony brought the old car out, which we call 502. And I kind of giggle and laugh because I tell everybody you need a tetanus shot to look at it. You need 2 tetanus shots to get in it. But the thing, every time I drive the car, it rips. And I mean, it's always been so fast. We should never lost a race in this car. This thing should have won probably 12 races, and I haven't won one yet. It's quite ironic how you look back at things and something always breaks or something happens. And but the car has been just incredibly fast, and it was really, really good at Slinger.
And how many laps did you get in, and how different was the track this part of the year? Because I know you've done some pretty good things when it comes to winning races when it calls the Slinger Opener on in the afternoons in past years.
Well, I think the track's really fresh right now. It's really, I mean, it's fast, it's clean. So time-wise, all I can say is we ran almost the same time we qualified at the Nationals last year, and we were 3rd. And we almost ran the same time as that on really old tires.
Wow.
But the thing that was really nice about it is that the thing didn't slow down at all. It just kept going super fast. There's a couple things we got to work on and make it a little bit better. But he threw some crazy things at it, and it seemed to work pretty well, and I'm pretty excited about it.
Jim, I don't know if you noticed, but I got a glimpse there. Rich, you're sporting a Slinger Super Speedway T-shirt.
Well, you know, back in the day, you know, in '83 when I won the championship, Wayne said I was the worst track champion I could ever have. And a few years later, he's paying me $10,000 a night to show up. So I figured Todd charged me $150 a test the other day. So I figured if I wore a shirt, I might get a test for free next time.
Great
we
plan.
need to see it. Let's see it.
Well,
bam, there it is, the purple one even.
Yeah, I can't lie about it.
Looking good. Hey, I want to take a quick snapshot of 1989. You mentioned Slinger. You mentioned racing all over. That year, Rich Bickle won the Slinger Super Speedway Championship, I believe, and you also won the Concord Big Ten Championship, which was a Saturday night series in Concord, North Carolina, and you raced both tracks in a given weekend. How crazy was that, knowing that you ultimately ended up winning both titles in 1989?
What's funny about it is we ran down to Concord at the beginning of the year, and then I think we come back for the opener at Slinger, and I don't remember who told me this, but they're really pissed that I come back and race at Slinger. And I'm like, well, why? And well, you just raced at Concord last night. Why would you come back here and race? And I thought, well, you know me, I don't take a whole lot of, what's the word would be? Politically correctness. So I said, guess what? I'm gonna come back here and race every week. We got rained out down there once. I missed one show and still won the championship at Slinger and come back. We did it. I think we went 7 times back and forth, but we'd run there on Saturday night, and hopefully most of the time we won a lot of races there. We would take off, and I would drive the Kenny Bavery's bus to about Knoxville, and somebody else would jump in, and we get to Slinger about 2 in the afternoon and get the car ready to go race for Slinger Sunday night.
Now, Rich, was that the year? And I'm hearkening back to a story from your book that you put out last summer, you and your friend John Close. There it is.
Barnyard to Brickyard.
Barnyard to Brickyard.
Yeah.
Was 89 the year where you called Wayne before the banquet and asked him how much your point fund check was going to be, and then you stopped at Bailings and spent almost exactly that amount? And then when you got to the banquet, it wasn't that amount?
That was 83. I was 22 years old. And back then, nobody in the world won races in Wisconsin at 22 years old. And I called Wayne up and I said, hey, what's the banquet check? And he told me like $3,900. So I went and spent $3,895 at Bailings, and I went to the bank. When I got there, the check was $2,700. And I went, oh my God, I just called you, yesterday. And then he proceeded to tell me I was the worst track champion he could possibly ever have in the history of racing. And I thought, wow, I didn't cause any problems. He paid Joe Shear to come out and run me, which we both won 6 features. And I still don't run Joe Shear, which is hard to even imagine. I didn't have $5 to my name. And so when the banquet come around in 15, when I got inducted to the Hall of Fame, Wayne was sitting there, and it took me that long to tell that story about after 6 years later, he's paying me $10,000 a night to show up. And I think it really irked him. He was not very happy with me, but it took me, 32 years to go, well, guess what? I finally got your back. And I love Wayne. Wayne's a great guy. I mean, he's been a great promoter for racing and all that, but sometimes you don't forget things. And that was one of the things I never forgot. And it took me that long to make sure I put the point back to where it needed to be.
Well, Rich, I know that you've got a long storied history, and you said one of the most gratifying moments in your racing career is when Dick Trickle said, I think you've graduated from the Dick Trickle School of Race Car Setup. You thought that was a huge honor, and Dick Trickle has hosted this show with me in the past, and I said, I've only drank beer with Dick Trickle on the show as the co-host. I broke that rule once since then. It's Brad Miller when he was here hosting with us in the kitchen. So I'm going to crack open this Miller Lite because you and I need to toast one together for how cool it is to know how much you're still involved in racing and still going crazy fast, knowing that Dick Trickle taught you a ton and you still honor him every day.
Well, it was 1985 at Kaukauna, and kind of weird. Just walked up to him, normal deal, asked a question and said, hey, what about this? What about that? And he goes, kid, he goes, you've been out running me here a little bit lately. And I said, yeah, well, okay. He goes, you passed the Dick Trickle School racing. And that was it. We were great friends afterwards. But that was like, God telling you were worthy.
Pretty cool. And I also know that the book, Brickyard to Barnyard, talks about many great racing stories. You need to buy it on Amazon or coastal181.com. We're still on a book tour, aren't we, Rich? You can still sell books while you're not racing, right? How can we get a hold of this book and show us again that cover of what we can find when we go online to buy it? There it is. Barnyard to Brickyard.
You can get it on Amazon. You can get a hold of me. I'll have a bunch of the race track this year. I got a couple hundred left out of the ones that we published. What's really cool about it is it could have been 5 times bigger. John did a great job, and there's so many things he remembered that I forgot, and things I remembered he forgot. And we had to make the book a whole lot smaller than it could have been. So a lot of people want to hear stories that weren't in the book, but you take what you had and condense it, and it turned out really well. And what's really neat about it is I've not had one person say that they didn't like it. That's like a home run. So cool.
Yeah, and just today we were trying to get this Skype connection figured out, and Rich said I need to take some time to figure it out. Like any good racer, I've got to make sure I know what I'm up against here. So he and Darcy, while we're trying to connect this before our 6 o'clock start time, you told me a story about what you did just today, chasing parts. I thought was pretty cool. Can you share that with us? What you ended up doing today?
Well, my whole career has been pretty crazy. I won my first ever feature at Lake Geneva with Larry Deeves' motor in the car the night he got killed at Kaukauna. And I was at Winchester. We partied with Pat Shower at Winchester the night before he got killed at Winchester. And I was sitting in turn 1, and I just walked out of the grandstands to go underneath the bleachers, and I heard a kaboom. And there was about 10 or 11 laps to go, and because I was going to go down the pits and congratulate him. He's running second. And Terry Seneca somehow, I guess, was trying to get, I don't know why he was even racing him, but I guess hit him left rear quarter panel and, got him sideways and come down, hit the inside of the pit entrance, the racetrack, the pits. And the car bounced up, and I ran back up to the wall, and I was the first one at the wall. And I got to see that, and that was like, man. So yesterday, this person put his headstone online on a racing website. And I'm like, wow, that's too crazy. So today I had to go to Jack's Auto Ranch to go get some parts for a car I'm working on. And, Watertown was 7 miles away. So I found out, they told me exactly where it was at, and I went and seen it, took a picture. And it's still hard to believe. It's been 39 years, but just kind of crazy.
Yeah, Pat Shower passed away in a racing accident at Winchester. You mentioned Larry Deachin's suffering injuries that took his life at Kaukauna, and you were part of all that. When it comes to
1981 was a rough year.
Yeah, both perished within months of each other, I believe.
Yeah.
And great Wisconsin racers. And I like the fact that you're on Facebook, thanks to Darcy. You're unfiltered there. How much fun is it interacting with people that are like, I think this happened, and you're like, nope, this is how it came down. This is what happened. This is Rich Bickle Unfiltered. It's me. This is what happened. How much fun is that, interacting with people on Facebook?
Well, sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's not, because either they really like it or they really don't. And you know me, I've never been politically correct, and I tell it the way it is. And if you don't like the way the truth is, then it's okay. But it's been interesting. Sometimes you get your fill of it. It's nice to take 3-4 days off, but then you get back and like today, I got upset at one of the people who worked for me, and I basically called and fired them because they're not a big supporter of what I'm a supporter of. And I thought, well, if you're that crazy to be a supporter of other things, then you shouldn't work for me. So that's the way I feel about it.
Wow. I do want to bring up something that many people listening to our show may or may not know. Rich Bickle joining us on the phone. Rich has had a long career racing in the NASCAR Truck Series for Richard Petty, racing the Xfinity Series for his own car, racing in the Cup Series. He actually was involved in Richard Petty's last race at Atlanta in 1992 and covets the rear bumper cover, that Orkin number 9 car that he had that Petty ran into before he started on fire at Atlanta. One story, though, I thought we could share is in the world of NASCAR, we know Matt Kenseth is coming back. But you and Matt raced a bunch of short track races together. Tell us how you were part of Matt Kenseth even getting a chance to race in NASCAR with Robbie Reiser.
Well, first of all, it wasn't an Orkin car. It was a terminal trucking car they built for Gene.
Sorry. All right.
That I got the bumper cover of.
Oh, okay.
That even makes it more special because Gene was such a great guy to me, and how that whole story come down, and within 15 minutes meeting the guy, and all of a sudden he handed me the world. But anyway, the deal with Matt is that in 1988, I sold his first late model to him. And then in 94, the fall of 94, I was down in my shop, and Robbie got a hold of me somehow. I don't remember how he called shop phone or whatever, and wanted to know if I would do his Busch deal. And I said, Rob, I said, I got a deal going with Kleenex and my own program. I think I'm going to stay with that. And he goes, well, what about Matt? I said, well, him and Wagner just split up next door to me. And I said, well, I'll call him and talk to him. So I called Matt up, and I pretty much said, Matt, if you don't take this deal, I said, you move back to Wisconsin is like being from Mars. You'll never get a ride down south. I said, it'll never happen because you have to be here to do it. And obviously he took my words of wisdom and turned around and made an incredible career for himself.
And Matt was on Dale Jr.'s podcast that's posting tomorrow. He had talked about that opportunity to get to go racing for Robbie, and he didn't know how Robbie got his number, but he was on the way back from Rougemont. I think he's racing a Hooters Cup late model or something. And then Robbie said, come back to the shop. We got to talk to you about racing. As much as you were involved in your race cars and involved in what's going on, I know Dick Trickle had problems. I know you had problems. I know that Butch Miller had serious problems with working with teams in NASCAR that had a certain way of doing things. And as much as you and all these guys that I just mentioned knew about your race car, knew what shocks you wanted, knew what springs you wanted, knew what the car needed, how frustrating was that? Because people may not know, but you were told often, you're the driver, I'm the crew chief, I'll make the changes, tell me what you feel in the car, thanks for your input. And they wouldn't listen to you.
Well, I mean, if you read the book, you'll see a lot of things. I mean, the deal with me driving, for Hendrick at Pocono for Terry Labonte, I mean, it was nothing but a political disaster. We should have won the race, could have won the race, and they yanked it out from underneath me. I remember going to Indianapolis the next weekend, and I was driving the 61 IWX car, and Dave Hughes, the crew chief there, and we had a car that was a second and a half faster. Now think of this, a second and a half faster than the car that he designed, and it was his car. So I knew we probably weren't going to make the race with his car because that's the car we had to bring back to track because it was his car. So we get back there, we missed the race by 7 thousandths of a second. But in the meantime, John Hendrick come over to me and said, hey, come drive our car again. And after how they treated me the weekend before, I said, no. I said, this guy that owned IWX Trucking spent $150,000 come up here and test, get ready for the race, do all that. I said, I don't think we're going to make the race. I said, but if I get in your car, I know I'm going to make $50,000, but I'm not going to do that to this guy. And when we did make the race, I missed it by 7 thousandths of a second. But it's part of it. It's the politics. That's why I really back then it was nothing but, if you had your own deal, it was good. Fred Wonke, them guys were awesome to me. My own guys, Phil Hammer, we made things work. But when you go drive for somebody else, like you said, they make you feel like, oh, well, I'm the crew chief, you're the driver, you do what I say. And like I said at Hendricks of Pocono, I told them what I wanted in the car, and they couldn't believe it. And the kid that's the crew chief on the 24 car now was a shot kid. And we sat in the bar that night, and he goes, God, he says, we're super fast. We're the fastest thing on the racetrack today. After Terry finally got to the garage area, I couldn't even go on the racetrack till Terry got to the pit area, and 20 minutes after practice started. Both times. For regular practice and happy hour. And it's like, what's he got to do with it? But it's just politics. And I've never been a political person. I've been a racer my whole life, and it's just frustrating how it could have, would have, should have. I had the race won at Loudon, New Hampshire in 1999, check, and I always said if I don't pit with 14 laps to go, I'm fired. I was fired already, just didn't know it. So it is what it is.
We're so happy that you're back short track racing, doing what you love to do. Dean, give us a glimpse. You're at the Slinger Nationals. You're interviewing drivers at the halfway break. What's it like going up to Rich Bickle's window if he's still in the car, if he's not already underneath it, trying to fix something in that 10-minute break? What's that like, the Bickle factor in the heat of the moment?
Well, actually, he's pretty calm and pretty laid back, and doesn't really seem to get rattled when I talk to him. I don't know, Rich, if that's the case when you put the window net up, but when I talk to him, he's pretty calm. He's pretty easy going.
Well, I always have been. It's just when things happen. Let's get back to Matt's story. There's one thing I want to say about that story that a lot of people have no clue about. Well, as far as I'm concerned, I sold him his first late model 88, and I got him to ride in NASCAR. A few years later, when he got the Roush ride, Jack called me a few times to ask me if I'd drive for him. It never happened. And I went to Matt at Homestead, and I think it was 94. And I said, hey, can you put a good word in for me? And Matt turned his back and walked away and said no. So, you look back at that. I have nothing against Matt. I think he's done a great job. But it's pretty frustrating that you help a guy get there, and when you ask for a little help back, it didn't happen. So, as far as another thing like this year, last year Wausau, Travis Cavapel's kid dumped me the second race in a row. And after the races, Travis brought his kid down and said, we got a problem. I go, yeah, we do have a problem. And he was standing there, and the kid's looking off at the stars and the moon and this and that. And then all of a sudden, I said what I had to say. And you know what the kid told me? He said, you're just in my way. And I went, wow, you're 15 years old. If I'd have said that to Dick Trickle, he'd have kicked me square in the nuts. And I'm looking at him going, my God, I wish you were 18. And then I said to him, I said, guess what? I hope next year you race with me. And I said, I hope you're in my way. Because this is just, there's no respect no more. I can't even fathom telling something like that. But it is what it is. And it's what racing is nowadays. And by the way, you're right. Tomorrow's my birthday. And they're drawing the lotto tomorrow. And if I win the $270 million, I'm going to buy me a NASCAR ride, just like they do now.
Really? You heard it here
well,
first,
I'm going to have the greatest
fans.
short track race team in history. 20 other guys will have the greatest equipment, the most people you could have. I'll have 100 employees to go run short track race. And I'll show them what winning's about.
Love it.
Because if anybody went to Tony's shop and seen what he works with and the room he's got in the space, there's cars outside. We have like 10 cars. It's crazy. But it's amazing what them guys do, and all the guys work on the car. And if people had a clue what we had to work with and what we do, and we're getting there. And what's crazy about this is that I only have 2 years left, and this Corona thing's taken half of my year away from me. That's kind of irritating, but it is what it is.
The plan's in place. You need to show Rich Bickle at a racetrack real soon. We got to end it there because our show's almost out of time. Rich, you've been awesome to have on the show once again. Thanks for being on the Racing Roundup show.
I got to say one thing. In the next year, in my final year, I'm going to have a tribute to some stuff that's going to blow people's mind. And I can't wait to see them at the racetrack and say what they got to think about it.
Looking forward to it, my friend. Thank you so much for being on the show. Dean Stroud, thank you as well. When we come back, we'll wrap up the program on this here Tuesday night. What's an awesome show. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned for more of the Racing Roundup Show. Thanks for listening in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and in Madison on 1070 The Game. We'll be right back.
Add beauty and value to your home or commercial property with professional landscaping from Central Services Company Incorporated. The team of professionals at Central Services is the personal choice of over 30 years of satisfied customers in Southeast Wisconsin with landscape design, construction, and grounds maintenance. Call Central Services at 262-548-0005 for all your landscaping and lawn care needs. No job is too large or too small. From lawn fertilization and weed control to award-winning landscape construction, Central Services is your full-service landscape company. Call the experts of Central Services at 262-548-0005 for a free, no-obligation consultation at your home or business regarding your landscaping or lawn care needs. Find out why Central Services can provide you with a visual difference in the art of landscaping and lawn care. Call 262-548-0005 or toll free at 1-800-236-LAWN. Central Services, the visual difference in landscaping.
Interstate Batteries, proud sponsor of the Racing Roundup Show and the number 18 of Joe Gibbs Racing. Interstate Batteries is the #1 replacement battery in North America. You deserve the best, so get the best. Go to interstatebatteries.com. Go to interstatebatteries.com to find a dealer near you. Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable. Get yours today. Race on.
At Automatic Transmission Design, we know your vehicle is important to you. When your transmission needs servicing, take it to the best. ATD in Germantown, Wisconsin. ATD understands how important it is to get your vehicle fixed right the first time. When you take your vehicle to ATD, our ASE-trained technicians will run diagnostic tests to pinpoint the exact problem and answer any questions you may have before repairs begin. ATD has been providing high-quality, honest repairs to customers for over 15 years. We service all makes and models using the best parts and equipment available. When you come to ATD, you will get an honest assessment of the problem, simple explanations, experienced technicians, competitive pricing, high-quality parts, and their 100% guarantee. Money is not the goal at ATD. It is the result of fixing the problem and returning the vehicle to you. That is their goal. The next time your vehicle needs quality transmission service, give Charlie a call at 262-251-7777 or visit autotransdesign.com.
You're listening to the Racing Roundup Show. Visit the show's website, racingroundup.net. Like the show on Facebook and follow on Twitter at Racing Roundup. Stay tuned in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and in Madison on 1070 The Game. We'll be right back.
Thanks for being part of the show this evening. We're out of time. We encourage you to join us on our website, racingroundup.net, for all the latest info on what we're doing. And until next Tuesday, have at it, racers.